Welcome to your support group podcast, home of the #1 podcast that supports you and what you like to do. As always, it's Kenny, and then it's
What's
See, y'all know I try to change it up every week, a little something extra, you know. But yeah, Q, how was your week?
It was a week. It was interesting. Yeah. Made it through.
Yeah.
And yours?
Yeah. Mine was pretty long. It started out, well, I was still living off a high off my oldest daughter graduating. So shout out to Lillian. Still living up off of that high. But at the same time, I noticed that my voice and everything started getting extra scratchy and weird sounding. And so I was like, maybe I'm coming down with something. By that Monday evening, I could barely speak. And then on Tuesday, they told me I had an upper respiratory infection. And then it went from an upper respiratory infection to tonsillitis with a slight ear infection. And I'm like, what in the heck is going on here? Only thing I know is I couldn't talk. I could barely breathe. And I couldn't eat. I couldn't eat. I didn't eat for 2 days. Thank God for cold grapes, because man, I never knew that I loved grapes so much, because that was like the first thing that I could actually eat. But and Smoothie King too. Shout out to them. You know, yeah, because I couldn't chew and swallow nothing because I cried my way through a slice of pizza.
Oh wow,
that's how bad it hurt. Like I cried my way through a slice of pizza. I ain't no punk, but I'm gonna tell you, like my joint was like, it's still kind of a little bit on the puffy side. But yeah, I did that. I cried my way through a slice of pizza. But you know, by about yesterday, I'm pretty much back to normal. Like I said, I still have a little bit of swelling and everything, and still on some antibiotics. But it was just crazy how fast things change. And how sometimes some of the things that change, maybe my voice or maybe the cadence in which I speak now is probably going to be a little bit changed until they figure out whether or not they need to remove my tonsils or whatever, I guess. I don't know. But yeah,
wow,
it's a little bit different.
Whew. Yeah, you had a week. Like you was 8 years old all over again in elementary school. Ear infections, tonsillitis. Like, wow.
You know, the most scariest part was, you know, they say you go backwards before you get ready to die. And you saying that now, it kind of dawns on me like, hold up, what the hell just happened this week?
Right.
Yeah. So, and special shout out to, you know, my physicians and everybody who took care of me. And, you know, even though I seemed like I was a little bit not so whiny, I was still kind of whiny and aggy. So I'm not one of those people who like to dwell in just being sick. If you ask me how I feel, excuse me. If you ask me how I feel, I'll probably tell you a lie. Probably tell you, oh, you'd be like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how you feel? Oh, I'm a 7. In actuality, I'm really like a 3. You know? I'm one of those people. So it takes a really good physician to really pay attention to everything that I'm telling them for them to actually know. And a special shout out to my job too. You know, they hit me up, and everybody at the store was just making sure I was good and sending me text messages and stuff like that. So that's, you know, those are the little things that matter, you know, the most, you know, when you feel indisposed.
Yeah.
Because that's the way I felt. I felt like I was just like, I'm just a throwaway now.
Well, I'm glad you feel better, man.
Yeah. You know, and in the last episode, I was in the middle of editing it, and that's when all this stuff started happening. And so, like, I was barely in and out of consciousness. Like, I was literally like, because I got one of those beds that actually lift up. So I was in the middle of that with the bed lifted up, you know, editing, and then nod off for an hour or so, then wake back up. So I was playing back in some of the parts, and I realized like I had cut off like one of our conversations, like we was in the middle of it, and you was like, yeah, so and then I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah, I should have called in the special favor on that one. Yeah. So, and that's another thing too, is just knowing when to step back. You know what I'm saying? When you say, and that's the hard thing about me. I think I was raised so old school that it's hard for somebody like me to be like, oh, I'm sick. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and stay at home from work, or I'm gonna go ahead, because it was to the point where my wife was like, look, you leave out this house right now, you ain't gonna have no kneecaps by the time you get down to the bottom steps. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go and lay back down.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't make sense for you to go to work miserable with all that bad energy and people looking at you like, dang, bro, what's wrong with you? But I get it.
You know the sad
I
part?
get it.
You know what the sad part is, though?
What?
I'm just one of those people that would probably go in there and just be like so like broken up, but I'll be like,
Oh my God. That's so scary.
you know, man, yeah. So yeah, I mean, now this kind of segues to what I want to discuss today. Because I don't know if you heard, but did you hear about the whole thing with Marlon Wayans and United?
Mm-mm.
So basically they gave him a runaround on his baggage, his carry-on baggage. And once they said, hey, you can't have 3 bags, you gotta have 2. He broke it down to 2. And then the guy was like, well, now we gotta weigh it because it might be overweight. And so he sent Marlon Wayans through all this stuff, and it caused him to miss his flight and caused him to miss the shows.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, now Marlon Wayans trying to get compensated for it. But beyond all that, my thing is, it probably wouldn't have escalated, or Marlon Wayans probably wouldn't have felt some kind of way if it was better customer service. I feel like now, especially since after the pandemic, customer service has been horrible.
Yeah.
I get all the time at the store, you know, wow, you so nice, you so kind. Wow, you know, I've never met nobody that works in the store like you. Wow, da, da, da. And like I tell them all the time, like, why would I be nasty? You bringing money to me. You know, this is a business. I make money up off you coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So why would I want to do anything that would deter you from coming inside the store? I think now more than ever, you know, people need like sensitivity training or customer service training, or yeah, because we've been, first of all, just the cell phone things. You know, the cell phone things have we've talked about this multiple times, where people aren't at the ability that they used to be with communicating with people because of cell phones. Then on top of that, you also have where we had a whole span of nobody socially interacting with one another for like a whole like 2 years basically. So it's just like a compiled thing. And now I see people and they just, I don't know. It's just like a weird thing, like with customer service. Like call your phone company right now. I dare you. Call your phone company right now and see how much you're gonna get done, or how much you feel like you've been served as a customer.
It's hard. Like you said, it's like they want to charge you the same or more, and then they want to give you less, which we've spoken about before, as you said, even with when you go into grocery stores, There's barely any checkout people. You got to bring up your own groceries, still pay the same price. You go to the airport. Now the carry-on thing that you have to try to stick the carry-on to take on the airplane is so skinny. Like, where am I going with this little bitty? What am I supposed to put up in there? Like, it's like literally like a little square. It has to be this size, ma'am, or we got to charge you for the actual checked baggage fee.
Q, I'm 6'2". If I'm wearing pants, right? Yeah, you get where I'm going. So if my pants, and then I gotta add a shirt with that and a whole bunch of other stuff, and you want me to fit it inside this one little skinny compact bag about this? No, it's not gonna work. It's not.
It's annoying because it's like, okay, I don't want to bring a whole lot of stuff because I'm only going for a few days. But if I bring my carry-on, you're sitting here trying to tell me it's too big, and you still want to charge me a check bag fee anyway. Okay. And then not only that, you late. You told me to be here 2 hours early, and you taking off 2 hours after your departure, your supposed departure time. I think you need to waive my check bag fee.
Oh no, they don't got to wear 90. They just take off early on you. Southwest, when I was flying out to Lily's graduation, they had took off a whole like 30 minutes early on some people. Like just took off. I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's ghetto. I think there needs to be more regulation for airline companies because they just do whatever. And then if they inconvenience you so much, they can lose your bag, they can rip your bag, and like they ripped my bag one time, all my stuff came falling out. They pulled it off the conveyor, but it was still stuck on like a little clip. When he pulled it, it ripped and stuff just came flying out. Then he was like, "Oh well, we can give you a voucher." Okay, the voucher, but now all my stuff is discombobulated. What I'm supposed to do with this? Well, we could tape it up, ma'am. So you got me looking ratchet with my bag with duct tape all around it because you done ripped my bag with this little $5
on vacation coupon. Looking extra hood for a coupon.
It's a mess. It's aggravating. And the other part too is, have you noticed when you go to, if you eat out, say for instance, you order some food, you go to pick it up. Like all you're doing is going to pick up the food you ordered. They hand you a receipt that says tip. Here's the cost. And do you want to put a tip? Tip? What am I tipping you for? I'm just picking up the food that I ordered. No, you don't get a tip. I'm sorry. I just want the food that I ordered.
Listen, every once in the blue, if I like the restaurant, excuse me, if I like the restaurant and they do good service, like they got my food is hot, I'm there to pick it up. They gave me a correct time and stuff like that. Every once in the blue, I'll kick out a little bit of a tip. Sure, I'll throw you
most you gonna get from me is $2.
But if I show up there and you ask me, do I like to leave a tip, but yet I'm still waiting and I called in my order 30 minutes ago?
Yeah.
No. I'm gonna tell you straight up with a straight face. No.
Right.
No, I'm good.
That's another aggravating thing too, is you step into a place of business, and I understand if you're busy, you can just say, one moment, I'll be right with you. I went into a Krispy Kreme the other day in Brandon, and Lord have mercy. Walked in there.
Hold on, they got Krispy Kremes in Florida?
They got a couple. They got a couple. You got to go searching for them. And I mean, she was just doing everything under the moon, which I get you're busy, but acknowledge my presence for a second. I'll be right with you, ma'am. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. But don't just continue to do all this other stuff like you don't see. You see me, I see you. You don't see me? I'm 5'7.5". I know you see me.
Oh, I know you see me. I know you see me. But no, the thing is, and this is what I was taught, you know, this is how my customer service was taught to me. Whenever you see a customer come into a store or retail shop or anything like that to shop, and they make eye contact with you, you say, "Hi, how you doing today? Everything's okay? All righty. Can I help you with anything? If I'm busy, give me 1 second. All right, I'll be right with you. Hold on, and I'll do what I got to do, and I'll come right back to them." Those are the things that keep customers coming back, even if you don't have nothing that they want. They will come back.
Yeah.
People always act like their product or their commodity is the hottest thing in the world, but I'm here to tell you, we put the heat to it. We make it hot. As human beings, we make those things shine and glow and blow up.
Yeah.
Whenever I see somebody say, "Oh, well, that store ain't got nothing," but they got the best customer damn service you ever met, and every time you turn around, it's packed.
Yeah.
Or he must be selling dope from about it there because that store ain't got nothing. It's probably because he talked to every customer that comes in there and they cut up with him and he has a good time with them. They probably just go in there just to have a conversation.
Yeah.
There's a couple people that come by the store that just have. I got a guy that rides his bike back and forth to work. He comes in there all the time, has a conversation with me.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's part of community. That's part of building community. When I used to work at the fairgrounds in New Orleans, there was this older gentleman. He used to come every day to get a cookie. He would buy, and I was like, "Why don't you just buy a bunch of cookies?" He's just saying, "Well, I like coming over here." He would come over for a couple minutes, get his one little cookie, eat it, talk, and then go away, and then come back about 2 races later and get another cookie. But that was part of how he interacted with us. Like, he enjoyed to just come over and just like chop it up for a little bit. So, yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of things. Like, like you said just a few minutes ago, we talked about the groceries and stuff. Like, even at the grocery store, you look at certain foods and stuff like that. Like, we've gotten rotten apples out the grocery store. We've gotten rotten onions out the grocery store, But the main thing is human interaction since the pandemic has been horrible. Yeah. Horrible. You know what I'm saying? You want to talk about stopping crime, man. It's more about teaching humans how to interact with other humans again. It's just that simple.
Teaching humans how to human again, because we have lost all that ability. Like, you go into a store, and I'm the kind of person, like, I'm from Louisiana. I grew up, when you see somebody, "Hey, how you doing? How your mama them? How you?" I want to speak to you. Right. We don't have to have a long, drawn-out conversation, but I'm going to at least be like, "Hey," or I'm going to do the head thing. But you go to look at somebody and speak, they will look away. You go into a store and there's workers around, they don't even ask you. They can see you looking for stuff. They don't even say, "Ma'am."
Or they'll scatter on you. They'll just walk away. Like, soon as they see you come in their direction, they'll just
right.
The hell is going on here? Do I have to chase you?
So it's like, you work here, but you see somebody looking around, looking confused, but you don't say, "Can I help you with something?" And it's so rare that when you do go places and somebody is like that, like you said, when people encounter you, they're like, "Oh my God." But that's the way it's supposed to be. Like, it's an anomaly now when somebody, and it's so crazy because, like, even if I'm trying to be nice to somebody, they perceive that as me trying to be weird. It's like, no, this is how we used to do back in the day.
How it is. This is called being a human being. This is called being a decent person, not an asshole. Like, I can be an asshole. Right. You don't want to see that's hot. I'll tell you that much. But I love being a decent human being. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to be granted the same amount of respect and love and kindness as I give out. Why would I put bad shit out in the world to get good shit back? That don't make any sense.
The math ain't mathing.
Nothing good comes from it.
It's just not going to add up. Man. It's not going to.
So I'm not going to put that kind of stuff about that in the world. Now, there is one last thing I want to touch a little bit base on. And I just, by happenstance, I think that's one of your words, Q. By happenstance, I just happened to come across this news article that said that the Little Mermaid movie is tanking in Korea and China because of race.
Yeah.
Now, I know that if you're listening to this episode, you're probably like, why are they silent? If you're watching, you're probably looking at the facial expressions of like, what in the hell are they thinking right now? I'm going to say it again. The Little Mermaid movie is tanking, like
Going under.
not doing well, going under in China and Korea because of the race of the mermaid.
Yeah. Yeah. Not surprising.
You know what? I can't even make no excuses for this. I need some of my AAPPI brothers.
This has been long talked about in the community of in the Asian community, where there's a very the fairer your skin is, the more beautiful you are perceived. And even like Asians that are born with a darker skin tone. And I mean, when I say dark, I mean, to us, that we're like, ma'am, you look white. But just because they're not white, they might have like a little tint to them. They be like, oh, you're too dark. And I'm looking at the person like, dark where? Because I am dark. This is what I would consider dark. Where are you dark? You about 7 shades lighter than me. Where are you dark? But to them, that is dark. And even though that young woman is still lighter than me, she's too dark. So if she's darker than that, the too dark for Asian, what you think? They're not going to see that. What are you talking about?
Oh man, you know what? I thought, because this is my thing, right? This is the way I look at it. We supposed to, and maybe it's because we just don't, but we are supposed to be all minorities in this world. We're supposed to be. Y'all have y'all struggles, we have our struggles. We come together on one solid ground. We work together. We build our communities together. We live in this world together. Whenever I see stuff like this that don't make any sense, when you got a statue of Stephon Marbury in your country, whenever I see stuff like this that don't make no sense, you listen to our music and you basically steal from our culture, but yet you tell us that we're too dark to play a mermaid?
A fictional character that doesn't like literally exist in anyway.
And it's not even from your
Right.
culture. It's not even our culture. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's we didn't intend to play a mermaid. But then again, we didn't intend to have 100 white Disney princesses
Right.
either. I just think it's just really pathetic and sad that this is where we at. We go 10 steps forward and 30 back every time.
Well, it just goes to show you that
you know,
no matter how far we've come, we still have a lot of work to do, because colorism
a lot of work
is still a major issue in just about every community.
Every community. That's sad. That's sad, man. That's sad. And shout out to my bros and my ladies in the Asian community. Yeah, I'm more than welcome to hit me up and get on the podcast and we can chop it up about it. I would love to get a little bit more feel on that one. Yeah, because that's horrible, you know. It's horrible because as you can look at things right now, if you look on things on just on the surface, it's almost like we're starting to interchange and like share culture. Like they're getting into the rap music and the pop music and stealing our moves and our dance styles, and we're not calling nobody. But yet, you know, you take a movie as simple as some Little Mermaid stuff and you feel some kind of way about it because she's too dark.
I mean, if you just go through TikTok and you see the amount of Black people, and I'm just saying Black across the spectrum, so you could be from any race, any ethnicity, that like to cosplay. And then those Black creators are told, why are you cosplaying that particular character? They're not Black. It's cosplay. That means they're dressing up like a character. It's cosplay. Are we not allowed to do that? But they take such heart to a Black person dressing up as a character who they say isn't Black. Okay. If I wanted to be Wonder Woman, is that a problem? Because I used to dress up like her when I was a kid because she wasn't Black.
I used to want to be Batman, and I know damn well Batman couldn't have been Black because he was a billionaire and he was a Cape Crusader. So there's no damn way he could have been Black. He was like, oh, damn, he just equated us completely out.
So
yeah, but yeah, man, we gotta work this one out. We really do. And I know. Like I always say, it probably won't be in our lifetime, but
yeah.
Well, there's people like me and Q and everybody else out there that feel like that shouldn't be, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's a chance that in 1,000 years from now, maybe everything will work itself out because it ain't happening no time soon. 1,000 years from now, 407 years. Yeah. Hey. Last but not least, if nobody told you today that they love you, we do. As always, you can like, share, subscribe. And if you want to listen and do anything else, you can go to our website, www.ysgpodcast.com. Whatever I just said, play it back again. Yeah. And check it out there. You got the links to all streaming platforms that you want to listen to our shows at. Also, too, we got a couple of little blogs there. You can check those out as well. And I thank y'all for your time. See you soon.
Bye.
Peace.
Yes, support.